This is the Global Broadcasting Service, serving remote outposts since 1928.
Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Express monorail.
Caramba, we have something really big for you today.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
This is the DBC Pod with Phil Schoen and Jason Dodge. Hi, friends. Welcome to this week's pod, the show for the week of September 8th, 2025. And this is what's going on in our Disney World, and Phil's back with his, episode 2 of your trip? Are we doing 3 episodes this week?
I think that's the plan, is to get 3 weeks worth of content out of the one trip.
So I went to Disney World for almost 250 hours, and it was 1.5 episodes.
Yep.
You've gone for like a weekend, and it's like 6 episodes.
Exactly.
I don't know how to do the math. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think I teased it last week. We're going to go over your non-D23, mostly your EPCOT day.
Yeah.
Very jealous of what you did there. I think we were talking about that last week. So we're going to get into detail of how you managed to maneuver EPCOT so expertly, as you should, as it's your favorite part. Let's see what else. Welcome to new members. Busy week this week. We've got Brendan, Kent, and Prism. Prism like just jumped into Discord and just like, I am now. I'm pulling up old records. I'm going crazy. So
somebody else commented. They like saw it pop up. He's like, I almost commented on something from 2 years ago or whatever. Because
that's fine.
Prism was finding all this stuff. Yeah, it was all good stuff.
So no, I appreciate the diving in there and engaging the community. That was awesome. And of course, on YouTube, we got Lauren Ray. Thank you very much for subscribing. And that reminds me, hit like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Leave a comment. Even if the comment is just saying comment, we do appreciate that. Helps the algorithm, I guess. I don't know. No one knows how YouTube works these days. So maybe that helps. Maybe that doesn't. Maybe it's a waste of your time. But let's go maximum effort this week. And I saw you tweeted out the Discord link. We got to try doing that more often. But join us on Discord. Like all these fine people just did this last week. That being said, Phil, let's get on with this week's news. I think you've got one item for us this week.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of news. There's like, I don't know, maybe we'll get a little more in your construction updates. But one thing that did come up is that Disney announced that there's going to be an update coming to the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. They talked about how they're going to be simplifying the options. I guess right now there's a whole menu of different levels of makeovers and stuff like that you can get. And also the fairy godmother is going to be coming and visiting. So there'll be like a character experience as part of your reservation at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. As far as I know, the only one that's still open now is the one in Magic Kingdom. I don't think the one at Grand Floridian or Disney Springs is open. I don't know if when this comes, that might also come with the reopening of one of the other locations. But at least that's something that it seems like they're trying to push this a little bit more. I know some days it seems full, and then some days you see reports of them standing outside with signs saying like, we have availability or something like that. So I don't know if they're trying to get it back on people's radars and stuff, that this is something going on, but they're going to be updating it. We'll see what that means for pricing and stuff like that. But that was something in the news. And it kind of got me thinking, like, I don't know, have you ever done Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique with your kids? Or is it something you would consider doing?
I have not. I know my sister has done with her kids before. I know she's done the one in Disney Springs. I've never done it. My youngest was like a uber princess girly growing up, and it was just too expensive. And the thought of walking around with my daughter in makeup and hair and a dress in like Florida summer heat, because that's when we went. We went in the summer when she was younger. Yeah. That just always terrified me. I'm like, this has just got to be a mistake. So no, I've never done it. Would I consider it? I don't know. Maybe now that my daughter's now in preteen phase where she's got all of her makeup and does up her hair and all this other stuff. So maybe like I know they have packages, right? Like you can just get makeup, or you can just get your hair done, hair and makeup, and the full getup. I've never looked into it, but that might be fun for my daughters the next time. Kind of as like the last foray out of like the youngins stage, I guess. Is there an age limit for like could like a mom and daughter go in and get stuff done?
I think there is, because I know they will only do kids, because I remember it's come up on some like YouTube things and stuff like that where people are like, adults wanted to get it done and they wouldn't do it. So I don't know if it's like 13 or 18 or whatever, but it's definitely kids only.
So are you telling me that Disney's defining a kid differently, Bippity Boppity
Well, I don't know
Boutique,
what.
and not in our
well,
dining
maybe I can
plan?
look that. I should have done more research. What is the age?
You got it. Because now, if it's like older, I'm gonna now go fight Disney on this. Like, you need to be.
Oh,
consistent.
it is older actually, but it's 3 to 12.
3 to
So
12. So
you
all
cannot
my
be
kids
older
should
to-
still be kids on the Disney dining plan.
I know that's weird that this is up to 12, but then the Disney dining plan is only up to 9.
Disney.
So come on.
Disney. That needs to be our thumbnail for the show. Is this chastising? Have you ever done this?
So we did it, but only when we did our Disney cruise because they have the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique on the cruise ships. And I'd always been hesitant, largely because of the price and the same thing with the heat and stuff like that. But I remember when we were on our cruise, the girls were like the perfect age for it. And there was like a princess event. We're like, okay, if we're ever going to do it, this is the time. I forget. I feel like it's maybe slightly cheaper on the ships than in the park too.
Really?
It might be. I forget. But we brought dresses. We just had them do like the makeup and stuff. Right. And I have to say, like the girls love the experience, like all the attention and how they're doting on them and stuff like that. So I definitely get why people like it. I feel like they're getting a little old now, but we did do it once, and I thought it was a good experience.
Here, I'm just looking up because I've never actually been on this page before. Here's some packaged prices. So the carriage package, which is $100, is a T-shirt, a sash, makeup, and nail polish and hairstyle. Right? That seems kind of reasonable, actually. Not to be honest with you. The next one's $200, which is a gown, necklace, sash, and bag, makeup, and nail polish and hairstyle. So you get a gown to go with it. It's a $100 gown, essentially, that goes along with it. Then there's the deluxe package because there's always a deluxe version of everything, Phil, when it comes to Disney.
Sure.
That's only actually an extra $30 over the last package. It's $230. You get your gown, a boxed accessory set, which I'm assuming is just those cheapy plastic,
probably,
and stuff like that, and everything else from before that. The next one's $450. I don't know why we're going into so much detail, but now I'm like hypnotized by this. You get a high quality crystal tiara. High quality, like Disney's putting in this word high quality. Which just shows to you it's probably actually a little bit of metal maybe or crystal versus like plastic gems or something. So high quality, a signature Disney princess gown, signature film.
Yeah,
I don't know what like the first one was the Halloween costume and this one's actually
I guess it's just a lot nicer. I don't know. It's like a signature dining versus regular dining, or I don't know.
There's an Encanto package, a night package, and a deluxe night package. The deluxe night package is only $80. It's a night costume, a sword, a shield, and like a hairstyling with gel. Why do knights need hair gel? Aren't they wearing like a helmet? I don't know. That's funny. Okay, so that's Bippity Boppity Boutique. Would I do it because my kids like that. I think if we go down, because we're probably not going to go down next year, or if we do, it'll be kind of like a short trip type of thing. At that point, you said it's up to 13,
up to 12.
12. My daughter will age out of it as of
that's what I was saying. My oldest is already out, and my youngest is 11 now. So by the next trip, most likely she'd be too old. So
it is what it is.
Gotta take advantage of those things when you can, I guess.
I guess so. We're missing that one. My 7-year-old will get it, and then my 13 or 14-year-old, depending on when we go next, will be jealous, so she has to deal with it. Yep. Let's go right into the construction updates, Phil. There's actually quite a few that kind of popped up in the last like 24 hours. That I didn't realize. Nothing major, but like you could see that they're doing work. So in the Magic Kingdom, in the Cars and Villains area, construction trailers have arrived in some of those laydown yards. I think we talked about how there's like there were permits for like an area with like parking spots and stuff like that. It's a gravel yard, right? There's not going to be literally a parking lot. It's just kind of drawn out spaces. So the trailers have arrived. So that means they're going to be we should probably look up how long the trailers arrived in Animal Kingdom, if that correlates to significant work done in the Encanto area. Not that any significant work has started yet in Tropical America. But anyway, Tom Sawyer Island, there's scaffolding around the walls of Rivers of America now that it's drained. I don't know what that's for unless they're looking to like demo some like that. Because there's like rock work that kind of goes along there. I don't know if they're looking to take that down. I'm assuming so. So when they start really doing some stuff, that's going to be really fun. And then a new permit filed for the Cool Ship kiosk in Tomorrowland. No one knows what's going on there, whether it's going to be another cool ship or it's just going to be another.
I
places
saw some
that sell
tweets.
food.
Well, two things. I saw some photos that like they started pouring like the sidewalk area around where the building is going, and then I saw somebody else post that there was somebody like a truck driving to Disney with things that looked like under a cover could be a cool ship or something
Oh,
like that.
I missed that one.
Yeah, so it seems like they're just rebuilding what was there. Like maybe it was just so old it had to come down and be rebuilt or something like that.
It's weird that they would have to redo all the infrastructure.
Yeah, I don't know, but I guess we'll see. But yeah,
Anyway.
it's funny that nobody seems to really know what it actually is.
Signage is going to be installed, so we'll get an idea once they kind of finally reveal that, right? They won't reveal it, but we'll have like a lot of guesses because we'll be able to see it from like the People Mover. In Animal Kingdom, speaking of signs, the marquee is starting to go up on the line, so things are moving quickly. Only because the show is like 3 months off at this point.
September, October, no, 2 months, right? Early November.
That's right. Yep, I miscounted. So we're coming up quick on that. I'm really curious to see how the graphics work and look. Is it going to be more obvious to those passing by, or is it going to be hidden like the old?
That's
one?
what I'm wondering because the one angle they showed of the sign, it looks like big and noticeable
It's
and
massive,
stuff. But so I don't know if it's just that angle from that photo. But yeah, the other one was like it kind of blended in. You had to kind of look for it to know where to go for it. It's tough to be a bug.
Yeah, and it was like right in the front of the park too. So the entrance there. EPCOT, no updates. Hollywood Studios, we've got 2. At Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, there's walls going up around Savi's. I don't know if this is just like maintenance touch-up work or they're actually going to do anything. It'd be really nice if that area had more seating. I was there over the summer, and it's just kind of like a courtyard, and you're just kind of like standing around waiting, right? So the seating would be nice. And then there's we talked about this earlier, but there's now more walls up in the pathway between Galaxy's Edge and Toy Story Land. I think it was people were mentioning that it was going to be more seating, more places to sit, more shaded areas. I don't know, shaded, but like
covered or whatever.
Something that's going to be more conducive to like people hanging out there. But I don't know what they'd be waiting for in that area because it's kind of far away from everything, unless there's like a line for Toy Story Mania or like Alien Swirling Saucer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right?
It's interesting because that area is kind of a little empty, that long walkway to Galaxy's Edge. I don't know if they're just going to put just more hangout area or put something there for people to see. I don't know. It's interesting because there's a lot of these little spots where they're doing work there, and I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, because I don't think there was any need for like touch up for the theming or damage or anything else, or anything that was worn that would be like they need to come fix this. So I mean, they're pretty substantial walls too. It's not just like whatever. So yeah, I'm very curious what that's going to look like and why it is. No hotel updates unless you just want to look at like steady progress at Lakeshore Lodge. You can go on like the WDW Magic forums and people take like their own cell phone pictures as they're going over to the Wilderness Lodge type of thing.
The only thing that came out, it's not progress, but I don't know if you saw it, like literally came out within the last hour, is that there's plans for updating the entrance to the Grand Floridian in connection with the World Drive improvements. So there's a map with all these different areas that they're going to work on with that big, I guess similar to what they're doing on the Polynesian now, they're going to be updating the entrance to the Grand Floridian.
Yeah, I did see a note that they're going to be working on like the guard shack or guard house getting into the Polynesian from all the new stuff. So I'll have to add it for next week since I missed it today. I did not see that about an hour ago. So anyway, that's all.
Yeah, it was literally like in the last hour or something.
Okay, well there you go. Fast breaking news. See, that's all the construction updates. A really slow news week coming out of D23. In case you were wondering, We Call It Imagineering had a new episode that came out today. I've been saving that to watch with my family, so I haven't watched it yet. But it's about building castles, which is always fun. Actually, what I want to know is the duration. Oh, it's a good size episode. It's about 28 minutes long, so that's a lot of fun. So we're gonna watch it as a family. So I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it or anything. I've looked at it. There's not. I was looking if there's going to be any news or anything coming out of it. It didn't seem like too much, but at the end they do talk a little bit about the plans for the Abu Dhabi park.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of interesting.
And they do say that that's going to be a quote unquote castle park, and that water is going to be integrated into the design of the castle.
Very cool. I like that. All right. So enough of that jibber jabber. Phil, I really want to know what you did at non D23. Because last week we talked about all your D23 experiences. We talked about all the panels, the shopping, the entertainment. But you wanted to go over your review of the Coronado. I haven't been there since the tower went up, and obviously I've watched all the videos about the reviews and stuff like that. So I'm really interested in seeing what your take is. Your half day at EPCOT, which is really cool, and some of your dining reviews. I'm really looking forward to your Geo 82. I've purposely not read anything that you might have posted on Discord and any other channels. because I want to react for all our lovely audience to
Yep.
whether you like it or not. So we'll go from
All
there,
right.
and then we got a game after that if we have enough time.
If we have enough time, yep. So Coronado. So we're going a little bit in backwards order. Prior to D23, we had shifted over from our stay over at Universal. We left that hotel about 10:20. We got to Coronado, just took a lift over there at 10:55, and our room was already ready, which was exciting.
When was it exactly? Did you like check in as you were transitioning over? Did you check in like the night before type of thing?
I had checked in advance on the online check-in
Mhm.
and put in a room request through touring plans and stuff like that, so it was all ready to be checked in. But when we got there, we what's interesting now is you do for the Coronado, you check in at the Grand Destino Tower for no matter where you're staying. That's like the main kind of
Okay.
check-in area. So we went there and we went up to one of the people that was like, "Oh, are you checking in?" And they like look in their little iPad and stuff like that, and they were able to see that a room was ready for us already. So we didn't get notified on the app, but we got notified when we were there. The only thing interesting about it was we booked it as part of like a D23 room block, and there it was like all you could do is like it was a preferred room like in a casita. That was it. Like no other like couldn't request view or type of room or whatever. Through touring plans, I requested like a room in that area, but we had requested a king bed. But in their system, it was like, oh, through the event, it was only available for a 2-queen room. It's like, oh, okay, well, they didn't say that, but whatever. But what the other thing that was interesting was they had like multiple rooms available, and they kind of let us pick which one we wanted.
Huh. Oh, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so we picked one. It was on the 3rd floor, and it overlooked the water in the middle of the area. They're like, well, do you want this one that overlooks the parking lot or this one that overlooks the water? We're like, well, let's take the one that overlooks the water.
Parking lot
Yeah.
or water.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never. I mean, I haven't checked in at the front desk. Actually, that's not true. When we went in 23, we actually checked in. We went in and checked in. I always feel like if we check in person and it's not like a crazy busy time of the year and it's not like they're fully booked and there's nothing we can do for you, that there's potential, even when it's busy, there's potential you might get upgraded somewhere if you just get that random chance of like, magic. If you check in online, you just go right to your room whenever it's ready. You don't even have to go to the front. Part of me likes that. We did that for our trip just now, but we did go to the front so we can get in earlier, but we couldn't. I for some reason, and this is just me in my own craziness, I don't like the convenience of checking in previously. I kind of like the vibe of like walking in through the front of the hotel, going to the front, being greeted by the cast members, having them tell you welcome home. My match band's already set up, but like that whole process just feels like your vacation is starting.
Yes.
And I really like that. So I always make sure that we just don't drive back in the parking lot and go right to our room.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I definitely think it's nice, especially if you have the time. I mean, sometimes if it's late or something, you just want to get things fine. Sure. But it was actually good that we went, and they were like, "Oh, you should have gotten a note saying you had to come by the front desk." We wound up getting it a little bit after the fact, but it was because I guess the system was having issues, and apparently I have too many magic bands.
Yeah.
So it was telling us that the system couldn't like link it up properly or whatever. So they basically took all the magic bands we brought and had to like kind of manually assign them to our room.
How many did you have for your trip?
We had 6 between us.
Okay. I mean, like my Magic Band game is pretty bad. Like I just have the dad Magic Band Plus that I have, and then like that's what I wear. That's my Magic Band. Yeah. I'm like, I should get more Magic Bands, but I never see one that just like tells me like I need to get this one. Like I want the ones that do like the special lighting and
see that's most of what I have, and those were the like not the Magic Band Plus. They were like the 2nd generation Magic Bands. That's what I have most of when they were those like special edition ones, and they did different lighting effects and they like were for the different parks and stuff. But I only have one Magic Band Plus, so it's it hasn't been a purchase as much as it used to be for us.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I would I don't know what Disney's doing, but like I would have purchased like more Magic Bands for my last trip. Like everybody gets a new Magic Band, pick out a new thing, and we could swap and have a good time with it. But the selection online is absolutely dreadful. I mean, like it doesn't change. There's like 8 options. I would love to I would take advantage of getting you save like $5 or $10 on it or something like that. As part of your package, I would have bought like potentially 2 to 4 of them. Like I could find the one I want. So like I had Julie, a friend of the show, went to EPCOT, bought one for me and shipped it to me. Bless her for doing that. That was for my mother. No, excuse me, it was for my daughter who lost hers last time and couldn't find one that she liked. So she really wanted a Stitch Magic Band because
yeah.
Stitch was the hottest thing going around. My mom wanted one, but she couldn't find it, so she had to buy one from like the Disney store online, and she had to pay full $40 or whatever. Not that that's a big deal, but like you're setting up. I don't know why we're on this tangent, Phil. You just got me going, but like this should be more prevalent, like available, right?
No, and that's the general consensus because it actually hit me the other day because we have our trip coming up, and I haven't even taken a look at them because it just hasn't been. And maybe it's partly like we just have enough. It's like not like knowing that the like this. I don't want to get them just to get them, and if they're not going to be like really unique ones that we want or something, I don't even bother. But.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of having multiple Magic Band Pluses is not great because you got to keep them charged, and that's the only thing that's annoying. And then you got to connect them to your phone and all this other stuff. So I guess it's not as conducive as having them, but I would buy more if they were kind of more unique. The one thing I love to do with my 7-year-old is she always goes nuts when it lights up like randomly around property, like in Haunted Mansion or whatever.
Right.
So what I do is I walk behind her, and you can edit like the color schemes of the Magic Band.
Yeah.
And I keep swapping them, and she goes, oh, it's red, it's green. And then like my kids like didn't know I was doing this, so they started like tapping, and like every time they tapped, I would change the color on them, and they're like, look, I can change the color. They would tap it, I would change the color. So any of your dads out there, that's a great game to play with your kids. Like, get them to mess with their Magic Band. I think they can control it, but it's just you with your phone. So anyway, long tangent over. You got your Magic Band set up. You figured out the tangle of your collection.
Yep.
And then what?
Yeah. So then we walked over to the room, and everything was all fine. We were all able to get in and everything, and started unpacking. I went over to the shop to get milk, so we'd have it in the morning for coffee, and just to get like the lay of the land and figure out like kind of the side pathway to get to the convention center and stuff.
Two
like
questions.
That, so. Yep.
Are you going to do a room review? Is that necessary? When you went to go get settled in, are you going by yourself and leaving your wife back in the room to unpack?
That's what happened. Was I took a walk over, and she kind of rested and did some unpacking and stuff like that. So quick review. These are, for those of you that haven't been to Coronado, we were staying in the Casitas area, not the tower. So these are the external doors, like, a Caribbean beach or ones like that. But I really liked the room. It was a nice size room, really comfortable. It had a decent amount of theming, even just like it had like these kind of great looking wooden type things on the doors that separated the bathroom area. It had some nice photos and images of the 3 caballeros and stuff like that. Had double sinks, which was nice.
Oh, okay.
A nice shower and stuff like that. So for a moderate, I thought it was, at least as nice as like Caribbean Beach and stuff like that. I thought it was a really nice room. There's a couple areas where, you can see like some scuff marks and stuff, maybe showing age. And, I had a lot of plugs. It was all like USB-A, didn't have any USB-Cs and stuff like that. So it's a fairly current room, but it's not the most like current, but it was a nice room.
USB-C to USB-C?
We use those if it's available, because it's usually faster and stuff like that. We bring both types of cables with us. I don't have
any USB-C like plug-in. I mean, I have them, but I've never seen, like, if I use them, I have to get like a plug that's specifically that connection. I
because we've been some places now where that's all they have in the room.
Really?
USB-Cs, yeah.
Oh, I might have to prepare for that.
Yeah,
okay.
So we usually bring both with us just to be prepared, yeah.
Now, if you looked at my bag, I have like 30 different like lengths of like charging cables for when I travel to Disney. I have one that I can put in my bag and sling over my shoulder where my phone sits in front of me. I have enough for like the kids and stuff like that. So I've got plenty of cables. Okay, so
it was a really nice room. The beds were super comfortable. They are the raised up beds, so you can put your suitcases underneath the beds, which is nice. It was 2 queen beds, not like in the Values where it's like a Murphy bed type thing. It's like just 2 queen beds. Really long counter, which was nice. The one thing I would say, it just had a chair. It would have been nice if it had like a little table next to it, so you could sit.
Was there room for a table in there?
I think there would have been for like a small one right by the window and stuff like that. So that could have been a little addition. And the same thing that at every place is just the white sheets on the bed. There were no throw pillows or anything like that. Which
I'm a fan of that. I know you like the throw pillow. I like the clean look. I've been in too many hotels that might have been grimy. I'm like, just give it to me clean. And I think that's why Disney does it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's 100% why they do it, and I understand it. It's just a little bit more would have elevated. But overall, I thought it was a really, really great room. Overall, Coronado definitely gets a big thumbs up for me. The only one issue I found, like the way the buildings were set up was kind of confusing. Like they kind of had courtyards in the middle between the buildings, but the sections were connected to those courtyards, but that's where like the stairs and the elevators were, not like in the actual hallways where the buildings were. I think if we were there for like a week, we would have figured everything out, but it was just
I'm
a little bit
looking at
different.
a map right now, but yeah, there's like immediately to where the old check-in area was, where like the main food court and everything else. There's like a court, like a main courtyard. Then there's like a courtyard that's facing the water, and then there's another courtyard where there's like a quiet pool.
Yeah,
I'm looking at. So if everybody's looking at, I'm looking directly at the camera because it's on my monitor right here. Yeah, that would be confusing. Like how close were you to the front? Meaning where the food court is, I guess, not the tower.
Yeah, so we were. So if the food court's in the middle, and like we were just to the left of that, if the tower's to the right, and it was like we were in Casitas 2. So 1 was right next to the convention center, and then we were the next one that was closer to the lake, and then 3 was like over by the quiet pool. Gotcha. So we were So it was like you kind of had to wind around usually to get to a stair and stuff like that. But I said, it was kind of one of those things where like there were 5 different ways we could go, and they were all about the same distance and that sort of thing.
It's like when we stayed at All Star Sports, we couldn't figure out how to get to our room because we went on a stair like 5 miles away.
Exactly. Yeah. So like it was a little confusing the first couple of times, but then we figured it out. But overall, really nice room, nice view over the water and stuff like that. Looked very peaceful, really good location and stuff like that. So I have to say, it's our first time staying at Coronado. It's definitely like in the mix for like if there was another good deal or something like that, we would definitely stay there again.
Yeah, when we stayed there, gosh, it's almost 10 years ago. That was 2017. We stayed in I guess they're the cabanas, I guess. So we stayed in a room literally probably about 100 yards away from the entrance to the pool on the east side of property, where like you walk out of our door and we're facing directly to where the tower foundation is being built, right?
Yeah.
And we got a great deal because it was a construction site at that point. We got 3 Caballero pins that we lost on our trip because they fell off. That's where I never wanted to do pins ever again. So easily fall apart. But anyway, I really liked the resort. I remember the food court being very good. I forget the name of the restaurant. There's a sit-down restaurant.
So there's the Maya Grill is Maya like Grill. Kind of the main one, and then they also have Rick's Sports Bar and Grill. That's like another one. That's like a big convention one where the people go.
Yeah, I remember not being impressed with the Maya Grill. We went twice. I remember in two different. I
think it's gotten better. We didn't eat there, but I've seen some reviews of late. I think they've improved it a little bit, and it also is one that seems to have the menu updates kind of often. But I think it gets the job done, but maybe isn't the greatest part. But between everything in the tower and 3 bridges and stuff like that, there's a ton of dining options overall.
Oh yeah, once you have 3 bridges, like to me, that's all you need because that place looks so cool. I haven't been there since then. That's on my bucket list to get over there and check out one of these days. Yep. Okay, so you've explored the resort. The resort was it like nice to walk around, or is just like any other typical kind of?
It was pretty nice to walk around. One thing we noticed was there was a lot of fountains like on the way to your room, like in those little courtyard areas or even in between them. And some of them were pretty like involved. Like they had 4 or 5 fountains shooting up and like flowing from like one thing into another. So there was like a kind of a lot going on. And then you had the main, obviously the area in the middle and stuff like that. So it was really pleasant to walk around. It is kind of a convention center, so it's not maybe as themed as some other places and stuff like that. Like you don't obviously have like the Skyliner going over above or something like that. But overall we really liked it, and it was pleasant to go around. So we were going to head to EPCOT then. We had because we're there for convention, we were able to buy convention tickets, which have options of buying just after 1 p.m. entrance or after 4 p.m. We did the 1 p.m. So we went over. One thing that wasn't great about the hotel or whatever is it does have a bus loop, so there's 4 stops I think, and it's weird that they have the buildings are all here and then they have like the parking lots behind the buildings so you can park and go there, and then the loop is around beyond the parking lots.
You have to walk through the parking lot.
You have to like walk through the parking lot to get to the bus stop, which was like, this isn't necessarily the best or the most magical or whatever, but kind of small problems, not a big deal.
I mean, CBR is kind of like that too.
Yeah, I don't know, it just felt more like a big parking lot you were walking through versus CBR, which seemed like had more walkways and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, when we stayed, I'm looking at the map and kind of remembering, like when we stayed at the cabanas, the bus stop was like through pathways, like it went like over the end of the parking lot.
Okay.
So like you didn't have to walk through it. Like there was just like your normal whatever
Okay,
pathways.
so maybe that wasn't as bad. Like where we were, the bus stop that was closest to where we were was like you were walking through a pretty sizable parking lot to get to it.
Yeah, like every other one is directly in the middle of a park.
Yeah, so we went to stop 2, which I looked up and was like the first stop that buses picked up at us. I was like, well, let's just go there. That's probably the closest one to us anyway. And we got picked up at 12:10, and we were at EPCOT at 12:27.
What was the cost of the one afternoon ticket for EPCOT?
So it varies by date, but we got the after 1 p.m. for our date. It was with tax just over $80. It was like $80.37 or something like that.
I mean, why can't we get offers like this like all the time?
I know.
Like, would it be interesting? Like, let's say you have a 6-day stay, or let's say 6 nights, 7 days, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm just going to get 4 park tickets. Would you, because they're expensive, right? You got the four parks, whatever. Would you have, if you could add on 2 extra tickets for $90 for any park, but it's after whatever time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, I'd be enticed to do that.
I would be enticed to it. And that's kind of the thing we've been talking about a lot, especially if they're controlling crowds and like, hey, EPCOT looks a little light today. Let's push out messages like, hey, you want to get into EPCOT after 4 today for $50 or something like that? Like, I don't know.
Not?
Yeah, you think they could do more of that, but
Whatever.
whatever.
You should hire me. I'll make Disney more money. I know how to get people to buy in.
So because we couldn't get into one though, we didn't know how early they would let us in, but we figured probably not a half hour. So we actually just like sat on a bench outside where the buses let off just to kind of rest and relax. And my wife, Judy, had to take care of like a phone call thing related to my like daughter's bank account. So we're like, well, let's take care of that now since we have a few minutes. But we wound up getting in a little bit early. We figured everything out. And we were in, I think we tapped in like 12:55 or something like that. And we went right over to Living with the Land, and we were online for Living with the Land right at 1 p.m. I remember.
Oh, perfect.
That. So that was, we got in, we took it in, like being in EPCOT and stuff like that. We got our guidebook and stuff like that for Food and Wine Festival, got our photo in the front and stuff like that. But yeah, we were like, well, we had kind of an idea of where we wanted to go, but most of the booths were in World Showcase. We didn't have it on our list to do too many rides, but we do love Living with the Land, obviously. And they do an overlay, or they add some elements for Food and Wine Festival. So we're like, opening day, let's go over and ride it, get some photos of the new stuff so we can push that out. So we did that. It was a decent line for Living with the Land. It was posted as a 15-minute wait, but it built up after we got online. So we actually had to wait 19 minutes to get on the ride.
That's still not terrible though.
No, not bad at all. And obviously it was an enjoyable ride like always, and took pictures of all the different additions they put, including like the sign saying like, oh, this is like featured at this ingredient is featured at this food booth and stuff like that. So that was fun. Then we started walking up into World Showcase, and in our mind, this is opening day of Food and Wine Festival. We thought it was going to be just an absolute mob scene of vloggers left and right, getting their photos of everything. And I don't know if they just all got there early and were gone or whatever,
Maybe.
But it really wasn't bad at all. We were looking at lines. Some of them had like 2-3 people in them for the booth.
Really, that's it?
Yeah.
Was it like an overly hot day or something?
It was August in Disney, so it was like,
But it wasn't like 118 degrees.
No, it was like 90. I think 90, 91, something like that.
Oh,
so
that's great.
Yeah, so we did. So we had our list of the booths we wanted to get to, mostly targeting newer items that we were interested in. So the first one we went to was France, which that one always does have a bit of a line. So we waited in line for that.
So you went all the way from Living in the Land all the way through Canada, the UK, over to France without like stopping for a beverage or a snack. You just hoofed it.
Yeah, we pretty much because part of it was like, I guess, I don't know, in our minds, we're like, well, there's so much we want to get done, so many booths we want to do and things we want to get done. And we only have, half a day or whatever. So,
sure. Fair enough.
That was kind of the plan. So we went.
I'm sorry for interrupting. That's like the worst walk, though, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, that side of the World Showcase when you're not engaging in to me, Canada and the UK are probably the two most boring countries for whatever reason. I guess because they're the most familiar to us, right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. But there's to me, there's like no compelling food. Like, I'm not, as much as I like the fish and chips at the UK, I'm not stopping by and getting them when I have other places to go. So,
right.
And Canadian beer is good, but like, it's nothing that I don't have at home either. Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, I always dislike having like, okay, where we get to the international gateway, we need to go up to like, Soarin' or something else like that, that walk is just like, ugh. Unless it's early in the morning and I can get my cup of coffee at Joffrey's and kind of slowly walk and
Yeah.
just have the view and the water, everything.
Yeah, I think if we had more time, we might maybe done that because the Joffrey stand does have special things for the festival. Maybe we would have gotten one of those and kind of just strolled a little bit. But we kind of were like, all right, we want to get this done. Are we going to like split up and blah, blah, blah. So we were like, I think just more kind of mentally focused.
You're in the zone.
That is a bit of it. And then when you get through the UK and there's like that, you have to kind of go uphill a little bit to get over the waterway. That's always a little bit of a tough thing. But yeah, so we're in France. We got a couple items from there. We got the escargot, which were in a new form. They're kind of in these like crescent roll type like containers, little like pockets of dough that had the escargot in them that you dip in a garlicky butter sauce. They were very good. I don't know if you're an escargot fan, but these were like the most convenient way to eat them. It was like eating them on a go because it was just like a little handheld thing that you dipped and ate. And then we also got the creme brulee there. My wife loves creme brulee. It was a nice version of that. Then we went up and we were going to, I think the next one on our list technically was going to be Japan. But we stopped at the Tangerine Cafe because my wife wanted to get the cider flight there. She was, I guess, thirsty at that point. So we got the cider flight from there. And we also got the pistachio cake, which was a nice little cake. I know that's one thing they're known for. It has like a cinnamon pastry cream and stuff like that. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was anything special, but it certainly was tasty.
I'm a big fan of pistachio ice cream.
Yeah. So this, I mean, definitely had a clear pistachio flavor to it. It was a nice thing. And we got the cider flight that came with like 3 different fruit flavored ciders. They were all pretty tasty, not necessarily our favorite ones, but it was a nice flight, and definitely, on a hot day, even if it wasn't the hottest day, it was still pretty hot. Right. Ciders can be pretty tasty. That was where we did catch a couple vloggers that were out in that area as well. So I did send you that photo that my wife took of me taking a photo of food, of the vloggers taking photos of food and stuff like that. So that was fun. And of course, our food was on a trash can, as is proper.
Of course, yes.
For the Food and Wine Festival. Then we went over to Japan. We got a few things there. The main thing that I was looking to get there was one of the new food items, which is the sakana karage, which was a crispy fried pollock fish in a spicy mayonnaise with a sweet and creamy yuzu sauce. That was really tasty. It wasn't crispy at all, though. They advertised it as crispy, and it was not crispy. But the flavor was really good, so I enjoyed that. We also got 2 beverages. There was an apple IPA there that I wanted to get to drink, and my wife got a sparkling sake drink that she really enjoyed.
I'm not a sake fan, but
yeah, I haven't really gotten it into either. This was like more of a sake cocktail or whatever. She doesn't drink sake like straight, but she likes it in cocktails or whatever. So that's kind of like what this was.
So you've made it all the way to Japan. What time is it at this point?
Let me see. I can have my photos.
So you got at the park at 1. You're probably on and off living with the land by what, 1:40? Well, you got on at like 1:25. It's about 10 minutes to get through it. Maybe 1:40 or so.
This should be easier to look up what time I took the photo, but
15-minute walk to France. So you're probably there right around 2:00, give or take 10 minutes, is my guess.
Yeah, it's around there.
I'm filibustering for you, Phil.
I know it's not showing up on I'm not looking at the right spot. I don't know. Maybe on my phone.
Doesn't make a difference.
Okay. Yep. So anyway, so then we went up to America, which was one of the ones we were most looking forward to. There we got the new seafood roll, and we got the pudding cake with bourbon caramel sauce, and then I got the beer flight from there.
See, America to me is like I've been to Food and Wine once in the last 4 years post-COVID, but I've been to the Festival of the Holidays twice. They're basically the same thing, but just like one has a holiday flair and the other one doesn't. America's usually, like, to me, like, you would think that America has the most boring food. It's like barbecue or hamburgers, whatever. But America has like some of the sneakiest, like, good foods there with like good beer, and it's just, to me, that's just like, you don't expect that, but it does. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So I was able to pull it up on my phone. So when I took the photos of the food from America, it was 3:02, so just about 3 o'clock at this point.
You've been there 2 hours at that point.
Yep.
Not too bad.
So this was probably our favorite stop that we went to. That seafood roll was really good.
Okay.
It had like lobster, shrimp, and some other stuff with like a sherry cream sauce on it, and then butter to dip it in. It was like a super buttery roll, and it was, ours at least was pretty full of seafood. It was decent size. Like we shared it, no problem, and it was like $8.75, which I
I was
thought
going
was
to say
more than
everything's
fair.
probably hopefully between like $8 and $14.
Yeah, so I thought for that it was pretty good, and then the pudding cake was really good too, and then it was a solid beer flight. We enjoyed I enjoyed all of them. I think some of them were a little too hoppy for my wife, so I was like, this is just like a good meal. Like you got your
All right, very
your
nice.
entree, your dessert, and your drink, and so you're all good there. After that, we stopped by Spain.
Well, let me ask you this before you get into Spain. Like, you've now been to 4 countries: France, Morocco, Japan, and America.
Yeah.
On average, how long are you like staying in each country? Are you like long enough to get online, show some food in your face, and go? Or are you like lingering? Like, what kind of vibe are you
probably
doing?
more of the former. Like we wanted to try everything and move on. I mean, we're not rushing and just shoving stuff in our mouth. It was kind of like, let's find a spot and we'll sit, and if there's people around, we'll chat for a little bit. The line for America, so Japan was really short because, hot tip for the Japan booth, they have lines on both sides of the booth. So while one side was like really long, there was literally nobody on the other side.
Oh.
So we just walked right up there. So that was, and Morocco was short as well. But America had a little bit long line. We probably had to wait 15, 20 minutes in that line. But overall, that was our favorite stop. After that, we went to Spain, which was one I was really looking forward to. They had a number of new items. One was like a trio of appetizers that I really liked. It was like a potato croquette thing and a pana tomata and like a frittata thing. That was a nice little like sampling of like Spanish appetizers. Then they had a paella, which had 3 different types of seafood on top, and it came served in this little like cast iron grill thing, and it was a huge portion. It was really
Let
nice.
me ask you this: where is the Spain booth? Because I know sometimes you have to go like past Spain a little bit, or not, or Mexico to get to one of the booths there, and then sometimes they have one like.
Yeah, so Spain was
by the
in
restaurant.
between Italy and Germany.
Oh, why am I thinking? Okay, never mind. Okay, go ahead, keep going.
Which obviously we walked right past the Italy booth because that's always terrible.
Yes.
And overpriced and long lines. But we found a nice table to eat our Spain food and stuff like that, overlooking the water. So that was a nice time. Although I will say by this point we were getting a little full. And like I said, they were big portions. Yeah, we got the paella, and we also had the cheesecake that they had there, which was really tasty as well. So we were just kind of, that time we rested a little bit and kind of just like, okay, let's take our time and like, let's not fly past stuff, like take our time and eat and just like digest for a little bit. We did also stop at the German booth to pick up, I got a beer and Judy got a cider just to have with us as we walk to the next stop. One thing we did stop here too was we stopped by an art booth. So they had some additional booths set up. So they had the merchandise stands and merchandise booth, but they also had this like a couple artist booths around, and this one had all different like paintings and things like that. It all involved cats, and like they were like either eating or drinking, and it all had like funny sayings and stuff like that. And like we were flipping through their book, and they called it their catalog and stuff like that. And it was just like, I don't know, it's just like kind of one of those things where it's just like nice that it was just the two of us. Like it kind of was like one of those moments where it's like it's just the two of us. We can like be here for a little bit. Kids aren't whining and pulling at us. We can just like look through all the art and all the different things. And that was kind of like a nice thing. Like one of those things you only do at EPCOT, right? Like where you're kind of walking around the countries and you have a moment like that. After that, we walked over to Mexico and we went into the pyramid and we rode the Grand Fiesta Tour.
As one does.
Yes, as one does. I had my Three Caballeros shirt on, and they were actually using the extended queue for this, which I was a little surprised about. So I don't know if it's just people get out of the heat or whatever. That line always moves fast. There's no like lightning lane or anything like that. But still, and it's always an enjoyable ride and nice to see the animatronics at the end. Then we went over to the brewing lab and we got the new Korean barbecue wings.
Okay, I remember we were talking about this on our show before you went away.
Yeah, and they were really good. They were super crispy, really flavorful, extremely messy. Like whatever the sauce was on it was like really like kind of sticky and coating it and thick.
That's
and stuff
the only
like
reason
that.
why I wouldn't eat wings at EPCOT. It's just the cleanup.
And then I think we got the cider flight there too, which was excellent. Those of the 2 cider flights, I would recommend the one at Brewings over the one we did at the Tangerine Cafe.
Last time I was there, November of last year, and we got the fried pickles and one of the ciders that was there last year. It was quite good. I remember it being quite good.
So we enjoyed that. The only thing we found funny was, and that's great to be in the brewing lab, obviously, because it's air conditioned, which is nice. And they have all the Muppet Labs set up, so it's always every 5 minutes or so something, a little skit comes on the screen with Bunsen and Beaker and stuff like that. So that was always great. The only thing we found was they had enough tables, but they didn't have enough chairs. So there was a lot of tables with one or two chairs at them, or people were having to find, can I borrow that chair or move over there? So I don't know what it was. Weird. It was like it seemed like, I don't know if they just, people were taking them and we couldn't see them or something, but it seemed like they needed more chairs. I don't know. It was weird. Then we rode, and then we did Test Track, which we wanted to see. That was kind of one of the priorities. We wanted to see the new Test Track 3.0. We decided to do it single rider line. It was a posted 55-minute wait for the regular standby. From when we got in line to when we got in a car was 4 minutes.
That's crazy. The single rider line stuff is awesome if you can, don't care how you go into the ride.
And it worked out perfectly that we actually wound up in the same car. Just Judy was in the front row, I was in the back row. So
there you go.
It couldn't have worked out better. So that was great. So quick review of Test Track 3.0. I thought the actual ride experience was excellent.
Yes,
I think it's probably, of the three versions, it's my favorite. There's some really cool parts, a lot of nods to the past, obviously, with them, saying it's fun to be free and stuff like that. And if you go through that one part, there's a house, and the number of the house is the opening date of EPCOT and stuff like that. There's a ton of fun Easter eggs in it. The LiDAR part at the beginning is really cool, how it really brings you into it. The parts with all the trees was nice and stuff like that.
The set making was very good in that thing. It just felt clean, well done, not rushed, high quality materials.
Yeah.
I love some of the effects that they had as you kind of drove by, spoiler, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
They would show your card would change if you look to the left. It would project onto the screen. I thought that was really nice too.
Yeah, I thought they did some fun things, and just some things are things that are going on now. Some things are kind of more science fiction-y, that part, which who knows if that'll ever actually happen. And then by the end, you see the big kind of wow moment with the big dome of all the future modes of transportation and stuff like that. And then you take off, and the outside part's pretty much the same as it is before, but it's still always fun.
That last room before you go outside, to me, that was a massive wow factor for me.
Yeah,
I really love that look, because I don't remember what that room looked like in 2.0, but there wasn't anything.
I don't think there's really much to it. I forget what
really
it was,
at all. But I just remember going in there and wow. I mean, this is a great use of screens, and it just kind of opens up and then shoots you out, type of thing. Yep. Was the door open for you?
It was. Yeah, the door effect is still not working. It was just open, which I think it's probably one of those things where if I didn't know it was broken, I wouldn't notice it. But now that I know that it's broken, I kind of oh man, this kind of is a buzzkill. But it doesn't ruin the ride or anything like that. So, the pre-show is, you're just the queue, you're just walking through and seeing some kind of concept cars and stuff like that. And then the post show is they just have cars that you can look at or whatever. So they're missing some of past versions had different games you could play at the end, or or for the pre-show had the design of cars. So those are kind of a little lacking, I guess, but the actual on-ride experience, I think, is by far the best.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, everybody has fun designing their own car. It creates memories. I know my kids were kind of disappointed, even though we had lightning lanes for it, so we would have missed that anyway. I'm okay with it going. It made the line stop a lot and all this other stuff. So I was never a massive fan of it. My kids just like pressing the buttons and making the car look as silly as possible.
Yeah. Then we went and did Guardians of the Galaxy Standby. I think it was posted at 55 minutes and we waited 49. So not too bad. And we got September, which is of course the best song. Of course. So it was fun. So we had a good time with that. I think that was a good ride. Then we went to the shopping to pick up some of the food and wine merch. So I got I got a shirt and a couple other little things, not too much, but we got a few things. I think we each got a shirt and got a shirt for my daughter. And then we walked over to do Living with the Land again, because we had just enough time before our appointment. And this is when the heavens opened up and it started pouring like there was no tomorrow. There was literally how you can time it's when you hear the thunder, when you see the lightning and then you count how many seconds until the thunder is, because that's how far. It was immediate. It was overall. I saw Len Testa posted at the same time, he's pretty sure lightning hit the Riviera. It was it was a serious storm coming
wow.
through, to the point that it was like raining inside Living with the Land. When we were going through the greenhouses, water was coming through like the greenhouses. We were
Really?
getting wet while we were riding Living with the Land. Like it
Oh, that's
was
funny.
crazy. And it was so loud, the rain hitting like the greenhouses, we couldn't hear a word of the narration.
I mean, that's a
Like,
different experience. Phil.
It definitely was. That's what Judy was saying the whole time. She's like, I don't think I've ever been on this while it was raining. What do they run it? And they kept running it even after we got off and stuff like that. So they definitely run it. At that point, it was time for us to head over to GO82 for our reservation for there. We put on our rain gear to get over there, and fortunately, I had like kind of sandal type shoes. My wife took her socks off because there's some low parts and that had drainage hadn't picked up, kept up with the rain. So there was a good 6 inches of water we had to get through.
Oh boy.
To get to GO82. So we were a little wet when we got there, but fortunately we did bring like ponchos and stuff. So it wasn't awful, but we were a little wet. So yeah, so GO82, even though Spaceship Earth is closed at this time, it is still open.
All right, before you go into some of your dining stuff, we're not going to have our time for a game because this is actually timing this pretty good. So you show up at EPCOT at 1 o'clock. You do a full loop of the park, essentially.
Yep.
You hit up Living with the Land twice, 2 marquee attractions, Guardians, and Test Track. If you really wanted to, you could probably, if you didn't get GO82, you probably could have gone Spaceship Earth.
Oh,
it was closed at
that was closed, but we definitely could have gotten in Soarin' or something like that. I think
stuff like
we
that.
were even checking. We were thinking about doing like Frozen and stuff. It was just a little longer than we wanted to wait. But like Remy was up and down, but even those were like, I don't think they were ever over an hour. So like we definitely could have hit up, if we didn't do GO82, we could hit up one of those as well. So
because I was saying this like 2 shows ago, like or maybe it was last week, your day at EPCOT is like, to me, that's like an ideal day.
Yeah.
And I think I could do that with my kids. Like my wife, if I'm at a booth, my wife would take the kids into like any of the shops and kind of look around type of thing. And the fact that you could do, I mean, technically, if you get in at 1, World Showcase has only been open for 2 hours anyway.
Right.
Like it's not like you're missing too much time. And when it's just you and your wife, you're not really looking to do rides unless you have one open or whatever. Right. So I think that's quite good. When you listed out all that you did, I'm like, I am just incredibly jealous that you had like a large sampling of good food, beverages, got the rides that you wanted to do. You hit up Test Track, and like I don't think you could have done it any better, all for the low price of $80-something.
Yeah.
Get it.
No, it worked out really well. We got on more rides than I thought we would, especially getting in like Guardians and stuff like that. Like I said, we wanted to do Test Track, and we knew if we did single rider, it wouldn't be too big of an issue. And obviously we wanted to do Living with the Land, but getting in, Guardians, a second ride of Living with the Land, Grand Fiesta Tour, and the 6 booths that we got to, we were plenty happy with our experience there.
So I'm really excited to tell me or listen to your review on GO82. Like overall, was it worth the hype? I don't know if there's hype for it, but like, what'd you think?
So overall, we loved it. This is like our type of experience. Like obviously it's adults only, and I can't imagine many kids would enjoy it anyway, even if they were allowed in there. There's not really like fun stuff to see or whatever, but it's got a ton of stuff like nods to the history of Spaceship Earth. They have the panels inside that are made out of the same material so it's basically like touching Spaceship Earth. It's just a really lovely lounge. If you've been to like a high-end lounge in an urban area, this is what it felt like, but with all these Spaceship Earth nods to it. So we really enjoyed it. So we had booked a 7:35 reservation. It does seem like they always back up a little bit. We didn't get seated till closer to 8. They had us in like this little like waiting area.
Are you able to get a drink while you're waiting?
I think some people did, they at least, because I saw some people with a glass of wine and stuff like that, but we didn't know how long it was going to be, so we weren't in a rush or anything. Our table was right at one of the windows, but off to the side. So even though we were there when people were getting seated that paid for the firework viewing spot, they were at the windows, but centered. We were at a window just to the side of them. So
still good view though of the park.
Yeah, overlooked like kind of the side going towards like Moana's, that area. So overlooked a lot of the trees and stuff like that. And at least at the beginning, we got to see everybody kind of trying to run through all the raindrops and stuff like that. I said the one downside is the glass, because it rained, there was like raindrops or whatever on the glass. Even once it was done raining, it was still kind of like wet a little on the glass. So we were joking they need to have some sort of like squeegee system or something like that that would squeegee the windows so you had a clearer view. But yeah, we had a really good time, and we kind of just hung out. No rush. The service was great. Everybody in there, you're just kind of like talking to people that are just vibing and having a good time. We sampled 2 of the food items. We had the mushroom flatbread, which was really tasty. A little on the small side. We each got like 2 pieces of it, but it was very tasty. And we also got the tuna that had like the caviar and stuff on top. That was like an excellent bite. Like if you like just like sushi grade tuna or whatever, really thick pieces of it, that was excellent. We each got 2 of the drinks. I got the brown butter old fashioned, which came with the ice cube that had Spaceship Earth stamped into it.
Oh, nice, because that's what I would have gotten.
That was definitely the one I was going to get. That was an excellent old fashioned. It wasn't like, oh my god, this is life changing or anything, but it was like, this is a really good old fashioned.
High quality cocktail.
It's a high quality cocktail. And you can tell these are all handmade, handcrafted, like done really well. And
it's no beak and barrel, right? It's not all pre-made, right?
Right, exactly. It's the exact opposite of that a little bit. And then I also got the I got the brulee banana highball at the end. That was also really nice. That was okay. So my wife got she got the clarified New York sour. She really enjoyed it. It's not my drink. But that was one she liked. And then she also got, I think it was the strawberry black pepper sour. That was really tasty. I think of her 2 drinks, I like that one better. And then we were able to watch Luminous from there, and they dim the lights and they have all the music come on and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
And then,
do you like Luminous better now?
I like Luminous a lot better when I got a drink in my hand and I'm in the air conditioning and
100%.
Yeah. So it's it was nice and stuff like that. And then the lights come on and everyone kind of heads out and stuff like that. So I would 100% do this again. It's obviously not like an every time trip. I mean, obviously it worked out perfectly for us for this trip because there were no kids. Just to give you an idea, including tip, and I have the prices for all our meals, including tip for the 2 of us where we each got 2 drinks, so 4 cocktails and 2 food items that were, we weren't hungry when we left. I mean, obviously we were, eating throughout the day. So it was plenty of food. It came to $180.
So it's like, what is that, like $140, $150 before tip?
Yeah,
tax?
Something around there. Yeah.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean
it's the same as
location.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're spending what, $40 a person, probably for drinks, right? Each drink's around.
Each drink was range from like 20 to 26, I'd say.
Yeah. That to me, that's pretty awesome. And you didn't have to pay for the package.
Well, that's the one thing that hit me was we paid, I think, less, certainly before tip, total than it was per person for the Luminous package. Now that comes with the nice champagne and stuff like that. And I've heard it's like, the quality of what you get is good. But I was like, we were a little off center, but we were right at the window and had the, were able to see almost as well. So it's like,
I'm trying to think, was anybody trying to like rush you out, trying to like get you whatever? It was just like, it was,
not at all. No, okay. Not at all. They were even like, oh yeah, and the fireworks will be starting soon. It wasn't even like you guys didn't pay for the fireworks. Like, it was just like, yeah, they're starting soon. You're all good for there. And they were even like, it wasn't 100% full. I don't think they're filling it to the max. I think they want it to be comfortable and like
not for the packed where it's just like a Oga's or something else.
Exactly.
Like, that, right? They want it to be like a chill location.
They want it to be chill. They want people to stay. They want people to feel comfortable that they're getting their money's worth and stuff like that. And with the prices they're charging and stuff like that. And it's
if I'm buying a high quality handcrafted cocktail, because there's like, for people that aren't in that type of scene, there's no bars around me that do it, but there's bars when I travel where you pay a premium for a cocktail, and it's like a bartender is like a master chef almost when creating a cocktail, right? Like there's an art form to it and a dedication to it. And if I'm in a Disney resort paying $25 for an old fashioned, I want to be able to sit and drink and like in relative quiet. I mean, it doesn't need to be like quiet, but like not shower. I want to be able to hear my wife speak to me when we're chatting. So what was like the music like? Are they playing like EPCOT-y kind of music? Is it just kind of quiet?
It's not like, there's definitely background music. It's very light though. It's definitely not interfering with conversations. It felt very like kind of the EPCOT soundtrack type music. Okay. It wasn't like like attraction music or anything like that. It was just kind of fit. You know, to be perfectly honest, I didn't notice it that much. I think it was just meant to be subtle and kind of in the background and that sort of thing.
Yeah, this GO82 is definitely on my list, and I have to drag my wife to it because she doesn't drink alcohol. So I don't. If she doesn't drink alcohol, is there plenty of stuff for her to like tasty drinks for her to have?
There are a couple of non-alcoholic drinks, like specialty drinks that we obviously didn't get, but I think it's the Walk Through the Garden. Some people have enjoyed.
Okay.
And the one thing I will say is it's a full bar. It's one of the few full bars like on property, so they can make up stuff. So if you just want like a gin and tonic or something like that, they could do it. So I think they could do other non-alcoholic. I feel like I saw a video where somebody asked them to like make up something like non-alcoholic, and they did it for them.
Okay.
Like that was off menu and stuff like that. So I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, as long as she could have a drink that tastes good. My wife and I used to go out to bars and enjoy, but like in the last 10 years or so, she has stopped, drinking a little bit, but like she always likes looking at a menu and finding something like tasty to drink. Cause like she likes enjoying flavors and tastes and stuff like that. And I think we were talking about this on Discord or on a show or something. We were on the WDW Magic forums going over the Beacon Barrel because they have two non-alcoholic drinks. So the whole conversation was like, they need to do a better job having a plethora of different
well,
things.
it's kind of, now that you mention, it's interesting that I think it's GO82 has two specialty non-alcoholic drinks as well. So the one that's for adults has the same number of non-alcoholic drinks as the one that's supposed to be for the whole family and stuff like that. So
that's what it is. All right, so what's the next place
so the next place, after we did our shopping the next day on Friday, we went over to Disney Springs because we wanted to check out the Halloween overlay to Jock Lindsay's.
Okay.
So we did. So we checked in there in the afternoon. They were like, oh, it's going to be, like a 35-minute wait or whatever, 25-minute wait for a table for two. And they're like, do you care if you're inside or outside? We're like, well, first available. They're like, okay, well, outside's about 25 minutes. And they were like, was inside a lot longer? They're like, yeah, a lot longer. Like, okay, I guess we'll wait for an outside table or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we're in line and there's other people behind and blah, blah, blah. And then at some point they're asking for like, anybody like a table for four? Who needs a four? And then we're joking with people behind us. We're like, well, we could be four. Like, so we get up there like, well, how many? We're like, what, two or four or whatever you got? And they're like, oh, well, we have a table for four. And they bring us like right inside to a table for four that with our new friends that we just like met in line and had so we had drinks and food cool. with people we just met in line. They were both down from the DC area and they were just like meeting up with friends and hanging out and stuff like that. And it was just it was kind of fun. So we had other new people to learn about and got a nice table that. And they really did the area inside nice. It was really done with all these kind of like old school, like sort of cheesy Halloween decorations, but it was all over the place. It was really cool. We tried some of the specialty things. We got one of the appetizers, which was the zombie eye bites, which were basically crispy fried chicken with deviled eggs on top and some harissa sauce on top. So they looked like eyeballs and they were served in a case and stuff like that. They were really tasty and quite substantial. Judy got one of the specialty cocktails, which was the cauldron cooler, where it was like it came with it was kind of served in like a beaker and a test tube that you poured into it and then mixed it up and it changed colors and stuff like that. And it was a gin drink. She really enjoys gin drinks. She really liked it. Her drink was good. I got the Scottish Professor, which is one of my favorite drinks there. And then we also stopped at Fortina Cucina because they had a special D23 drink going on there. So we just wanted to get that. That was when the power went out. Which, if you remember it being reported that basically all power all over Walt Disney World went out.
Oh, was that the same time?
That was at the same time, yeah. Okay. So we were in there like getting a drink and all of a sudden the power goes out and then like the emergency power kicks in and then like 5-10 minutes later the regular power came back on and stuff like that. So we're like, oh, that was interesting, whatever. Meanwhile, there were like 40 rides down across Disney parks and stuff like that. So so that was that.
Was that worth going to if you wanted some different experience?
Going over to Jock Lindsay's and stuff?
Yeah.
It was for us because we had the afternoon, like we had an afternoon. We could have done different things. We could have done pool time. We could have done, just hanging out at the resort or whatever, or we could have gone, resort hopping or whatever. But like we kind of thought we'd try out something new, and we like Jock Lindsay's and stuff like that. And obviously just take bus over and bus back and stuff like that. It worked out fine.
But the overlay itself, was that like interesting enough to like go out of your way to go to Disney Springs?
I think so. I think it was cool to see it over and just like kind of the different menu and stuff like that. And what they do. I mean, I don't think you need to do it like 5 times while you're there or anything like that. Or, you know, if
Fun
we're there,
experience.
if we're there next year and it's basically the same, I don't know if we'll do it again, but like if you hadn't done it before, it's definitely worth checking out. And I know they do it for the holidays as well. So they do it different. This is the first time they did Halloween, but they've done Christmas before. That evening we had dinner scheduled for California Grill. There was a Halloween party that night that we could have gotten tickets to, but we decided let's just have a nice dinner out. We hadn't been to California Grill in years since they switched over to the prefix menu. What we decided to just take Ubers or Lyfts over rather than like take bus to park and walk and stuff like that. Just going to resort to resort for a nice dinner out. We're like, and I was looking it up. It was like $9. I'm like, I'll pay the $9.
$9?
Yeah, it was like really cheap.
Yeah, that's totally worth it at that point.
One thing though, I did notice, I was looking because we were using Lyft. We found Lyft was cheaper, and we have like it gets us points for one of our like miles and stuff like that. So I like, well, let's use Lyft, and that also which just has the minivans. It was like $9 for the Lyft, $44 for the minivan. I'm like, I think the Lyft will be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But obviously if you have, kids and you need multiple car seats and stuff like there's scenarios where it makes sense.
No, we're getting on the bus for $40-something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. $9, that's easy.
So we checked in for California Grill. Actually, we got there early because I didn't know how long it was going to take to call the Lyft and stuff like that. So we did a loop on the monorail just to go around, because we haven't been there and stuff like that, which was fun. And then we checked in, and I have to say, it's a prefix. I think we must have gotten told like 5 times by 5 different people, we have a prefix now, and this is how much it is, and you choose one of these, and we're like, okay, yeah, we know it's a prefix.
We got it. Yeah.
So I don't know if they're like people don't realize it or something like that, but it was just kind of funny how many times they told us.
Yeah.
So we went up, we got a table right by the windows, which was great. So we could look out over Magic Kingdom. We both did the wine pairings with it as well. Let me just, if I could pull up what photos I got. So I started with the surf and turf roll, which had the crab inside and then Wagyu steak on the top of it. So that was like a really nice and filling appetizer. And Judy got the goat cheese ravioli, which is one of their famous options. For entrees, she did the lamb and I did the scallops. The lamb was one of the best. I tried her lamb. It was literally like one of the best things I've ever eaten. Like it was prepared so well. Mine, the scallops were really good. The vegetables were kind of it had like beets 5 different ways or whatever, and it was like really interesting. So we were both
ratatouille.
It was like we were both happy with our entrees. I had the coffee dessert. She had the cheesecake one. Both were very good as well. I mean, the food did not disappoint. This was like an excellent meal. Obviously, the challenge of it being $89, I thought it was 100% worth it for the quality and the amount of food we got. I don't think it's worth it to bring my kids though when they're also having to pay $89. So it's definitely, I think, a great date night. But as far as the prefix meal was, I don't think we'll ever go back. The wine pairing worked out really well. It was nice. I don't know if I'd do that again. I think it'd probably be better just to pick a bottle of wine once you had it, because it was like $72 each for the wine pairings. So it like kind of adds up.
I mean, like $90 per person just for that level of food. Like I'm definitely okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with $72 a person for the wine pairing.
Yeah,
that
it was 3 full glasses of wine, which if you figure $20 a glass or whatever, kind of adds up. But yeah, it's still quite. Yeah, I don't think it was worth it. And the next night I'll get to our later meal where we ordered a bottle of wine. That worked out a lot better, I think.
Okay.
The only negative we had with this meal was usually they're really good about the pacing of things. This was like one time they brought out the appetizers. They hadn't brought our wines yet. Usually they bring that first. And then like another time they brought the wines, and then we were waiting for our entrees for 10 minutes. And then
was it busy?
It was full for sure. We did have like next to us was a party. It was like 13 people across 2 tables. And there was all or almost all, other than I think the parents, girls that were around. I say girls, but I think they were in their 20s or something like that. I think it was for one of them, like just graduated or something, because she got like a congratulations cake or something, and they were all dressed in like similar like gold sequin dresses and stuff like that. Like they were out for a nice night on the town type thing. And I was like, if that's the father paying for all this, that's going to be a bill at the end of that.
Don't even think about it.
I was like, oh boy. So I don't know if that big party like alternated things, but then also like usually they're good about like, oh, the fireworks are starting. Either they make sure you have everything before the fireworks start, or they hold your dessert until after the fireworks. They like brought the dessert like right as the fireworks are starting. they like poured our wine during the firework. Like, I don't know, it's just like the timing was like a little
Yeah.
off with a few things, which was never an issue in the past. The other issue which we had was they usually turn down the lights and pipe in the music for the fireworks. I guess the power outage short circuited things and it wasn't working properly.
Oh no.
So we heard the announcement, like in just 5 minutes we'll be like the lights will dim and we'll have the music for the fire, blah blah blah. Then nothing. Then like 5 minutes into it, all of a sudden like random music comes on. Then all of a sudden we hear the announcement again in just 5 minutes. It was like they were trying to like reset the system or something,
gosh.
and it just never worked. So that was
You
a
got
little
a
bit of a
free glass of
bummer.
wine for
I
that.
know that was a little bit of a bummer that it didn't work out, but it was still a great view. It was of the Halloween fireworks and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that was a really fun experience. All in all, with tip and everything, that came to about just over $400 for the meal. I think if I had to do it again, I would not do the wine pairings, but I don't regret doing the meal at all. The food was really good. And it was a really nice date night out. Then we'll fast forward to Sunday night. Our last meal was going to be at Toledo at the top of Gran Destino Tower. We did stop in the lounge across the hall to have a drink beforehand. That was really nice. That's a really lovely space, and they have a great drink list there with some unique options. So even if you're not going to go eat at Toledo, if you're in the area, if you're staying at Coronado, definitely check out the Dahlia Lounge. Then our last meal was at Toledo. And if you haven't been to Toledo, don't know what it is, it's a Spanish tapas themed restaurant. So they have like entrees and stuff like that, but they're kind of really known for their small plates, their tapas at the beginning. So that's all we did. We just did a number of tapas. We did their pana tomata, we did their the shishito peppers, and then we did their like garlic, like shrimp that they cook in like a clay pot with garlic sauce and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then we got another one that had octopus and potatoes and stuff, and it all comes with bread and you dip it, and oh my god, it was so good. Like the food was just
I'm
excellent.
a huge fan of tapas because unless I know the restaurant, I'm always constantly worried if I ordered the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And with tapas, you can't go wrong. You just order like 5 different things, and then like if you don't like one, that's fine. You've got 4 other things to have.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
my
we
favorite.
split that, and then we got two. We were going to get like, do we want to get a side or something like that? And then we decided to just get 2 desserts. So we
Come
got
on,
another cheesecake,
best.
and I got like a coffee one, I think it was. They were both excellent as well. And we got a bottle of wine that like Albarino grapes is one of my wife's favorite. They had it from Spain. It was like one of the nicer bottles, but it was $75 for a bottle, but that was the whole bottle versus $72 each for the wine pairing.
Yeah.
So this was, I mean, at the end of the day, I have it on here, including tip and including that bottle of wine, it was $181 total for our
That's
meal.
like nothing for like a nice night out with
Yeah,
a
so-
bottle of wine. Yeah. That's
So
pretty
yeah,
good.
so this is like, I can't recommend this place enough. You can see some of the fireworks in the distance from either Hollywood Studios or EPCOT as well. It's
Okay.
just a beautiful space. Like I said, you can really get a lot of nice food and not blow the budget and stuff like that.
I
So-
remember when this opened up, like all the restaurants and bars in this place, like to me, kind of just got like everybody was kind of excited for them, and then like it just no one talks about them anymore because Coronado's is kind of like off to the side. It's a convention resort. Not a lot of people talk about it, but you've got the Three Bridges, you've got this lounge, and Toledo's on my list of things that I definitely want to try when I don't have children.
Yeah.
To price me out of some of these places that can
Yeah, and
appreciate
I
food.
mean, I would go here with my kid. I mean, much more than California Grill, because you could just get, like you said, a couple different tapas and stuff. And some of them I think they would eat and they could try things or whatever. So I think you can make it work. I mean, it depends on the kids, obviously, but
yes,
I think
like
this is,
my kids, my 7-year-old wouldn't enjoy it because she's still a picky eater at that
Yeah.
age. My son's palate is expanding, so I guess he would be. I would bring my daughter for sure. She's appreciating food more and more as she at this point. So I guess I don't like bringing my kids to a fancy restaurant and paying that bill at the
Yeah.
end. You know, it's tough. But that's why I like the food plan because then I
Yep.
get to do it and not have to worry about it. So
and
Disney
I
can
forget
get me
for
that
the
way.
other, but I did want to mention this place does give 10% off for Chase Visa. So
Oh, there you
yeah.
go. Perfect.
Yeah, so that helped too.
Perfect.
So yeah, so that's kind of the dining reviews. I think absolutely love Geo82, would do it again. Would do California Grill again as a date night, and but the highlight of the trip I think turned out to be Toledo.
I was just going to ask which one was your favorite. So it
I
was
think
Toledo,
I mean
yeah.
it's obviously comparing that, like Geo82 is kind of a unique thing, but I still think, you know, and maybe just because it surprised me how much we enjoyed it, but if I had to pick one, it would be Toledo.
So like if you had to plan a trip and the only place that you could go He's like all your meals are quick service, but you could choose one of the list you have here that you just reviewed. It would be Toledo to go.
I think it would be Toledo. Yeah, all in.
Wow. Because you were speaking so highly of Geo82 a second.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously a little bit different and stuff like that, and I'm really glad we did Geo82. But I would do Toledo more often. Like Geo82 is kind of like a once every 4 or 5 trips, I think. Something
Gotcha.
like that.
Well, that makes sense. Well, we went over
way
15
over.
minutes
Yeah, I remember messaging you saying like, I don't know, like, dude, we need a game or something. I don't think that there's much to talk about this week.
There's always plenty to talk about, Phil.
Especially when we get into trip reports and dining and stuff like that. So
when you're giving the report and I have nothing to say, I just start going off on tangents because I love the sound of my own voice. That's why I'm a podcaster. So I need to talk about something here and draw out some details. But no, again, I love this trip for you. And of course, everybody remember we have part 3 next week, where I think is going to be probably, I kind of hate to say it, but probably the more interesting of the 3.
I think
so.
Go
over your epic universe. And
it's definitely the one I took the most notes about. So I have the the times of everything and stuff.
It's all new touring strategies.
Yeah.
We talked about like you had like 1,000 things that you wanted to eat there, and we were joking whether or not you're going to get to all of them. You're just like Matt and his list of 1,000 different appetizers in Disneyland he tried to do over the summer. So I'm looking forward to that, and the Helios Hotel and all your experiences there. So that'll be next week. That's what they call a teaser, Phil.
Yeah.
In the business.
That's why you're a professional.
Yes, exactly. Anything else you wanted to add on the Disney non-D23 stuff?
No, it's the only thing, like I said, I think last point, I wish we had another day at the end to kind of do some other non-D23 things to like relax before we
could always
right
add
back.
more days.
You could always add more days.
Things and add more
but
days.
I'm really glad with, I went through like 17 different plans for what we're going to do. And I'm really happy with where we wound up at.
Were you able to relax?
Yeah.
It sounds like you did.
I mean, I know I went through quickly what we did at Epcot. It was like this week, but like that was across like 8 hours or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were definitely just taking our time and enjoying things and taking things in. So it was a really lovely day at Epcot. Fortunately, other than that one section of rain, it was nice weather. It was a little hot, but nothing too crazy and stuff like that. So yeah, can't recommend a no kids trip more.
I'm going to try to get down there somewhere. I want to do one of the festivals, either arts or garden next year with the wife with like a weekend getaway.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I think she's going to be itching to go right around February timeframe. So maybe we can do like a 2-day down and back where we do like one day, like we arrive, one day is like a resort day, one day is like an Epcot day or something.
Yeah.
And then like,
that'd be awesome.
Or something like that. So I'm looking for it. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Listen, remember, hop on Discord, join the conversation. You can see, I think, Phil, you posted a lot of different pictures.
Yep.
On Discord, so you can scroll through those. You'd be like Prism and go all the way back. And hopefully you don't find your pictures from like 2 trips ago and get them confused.
I did find our picture though. Because they were asking us at Toledo, had you ever been here before? And we were there like when they first opened, and I was able to find a picture of us from 2019 when we ate at Toledo. So we were able to show the server, and he was like, "Oh, I wasn't there," but like he was pointing out all the people that were still there that had been there from 2019.
Really?
Like they have a lot of like really veteran servers and stuff there.
That's a long time for a restaurant to hold that many people. But if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe, please. I don't tell people to hit the bell. Does anybody actually hit the bell on YouTube? Like, I don't need more notifications in my life.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're going live every other day that you need these notifications. Like, when we're going at.
Well, I mean, like new video. It's like it's always hopefully on Tuesday, unless things got pushed up by our personal lives. But anyway, do all the things, hit all the things, type all the things, tell a friend, and we'll catch you next week with Phil's epic journey to Epic Universe.
All right. Take care, everyone.